Hey, yes, people, it's me, Miss Jarena Star. How are you doing? There has been numerous colds and flus that has been going around in this city. And for some reason, I always thought I was immune to a cold. I don't know, I try and eat healthily, but when you've got kids and they're bringing bugs from school, I must have caught this ridiculous cold. And it started last night, and it's just making me feel really groggy. So adulting with a cold is very difficult. And that's why God spares me from illnesses, thank God, touch wood, because, the last thing you want to have is a cold. But even I am human. This cold is horrible. It's like bunged up nose, deep voice. Whenever I have a deep voice, I always practice singing and stuff. It's good for doing impersonation and stuff. But today I had to go to a sustainable business sustainability conference. I didn't want to miss it because I love the environment. I love Mother Earth, and I just want to be a good example of more Black women, Black people that cares about the planet and is totally against fast fashion because our people are our people are lost for a lack of knowledge. And let me just say, if the Bible verse of the lack of knowledge, I don't know whether it's ignorance or lack of knowledge, but the least thing on Black people's mind is the environment. I'm not going to lie. They couldn't care less. They could not care less. They are the biggest recipients of fast, dirty, stinky fashion. They gladly wear their Boohoo and their Sheen and their Temu and their whatever they are because it's cheap, as most of our communities low income poor. So for them to be able to access these products and pretend to be a billionaire, pretend to be rich in their fast fashion, cheap ass clothes, that ends up dumped in Africa. That's causing global warming. That's causing carbon. Um, sorry, that's causing all that. It's literally causing the forest fires in America. Because Black people's education has been dumbed down for some reason. Sustainability, environmental, and all that has been whitewashed. I've got a magazine here. I picked it up. It's called Clean Slate: Learning by Doing, Communicating, Transformational Social Change. Have a lovely green page, solar panels. I'm sure she means well. Lovely white lady. Um, but absolutely no diversity. Because they have literally it's just so whitewashed. Like environmental things, everything sustainable is a heavily white thing. You know, it just doesn't involve Black people because we Black people are consumers. We make white people rich by constantly buying their ish. But you see, they're realizing their impact on the planet, and they created a whole movement called environmentalism. You know what I mean? Because they feel guilty that their ways are destroying the planet. However, they haven't passed any information to the Black community who are busy imitating them and trying to be rich. And look, look, all the buildings designed, trying to make it sustainable. Black people are not included in this. I've, here they are making food, vegan foods that are heavily whitewashed, probably ethnic foods that have been whitewashed. Um, nothing, nothing to involve Black people, and it's a big problem. Um, Again, that whole hiking gear, white person in the hiking natural English countryside, tofu masala curry. Do you know what I mean? Plagiarized, gentrified curry, nothing to show to include black people, because they want to live the sustainable life, zero carbon Britain, all that. You know what I mean? But they still need black people to be the biggest consumer. They still, because we keep them rich. And then they also, like, all these companies like to use the whole, but our little black staff use bicycles, to deliver stuff, like vegan earthware, white hiker. Oh God, such a middle class. That now they're sort of realizing their impact on the world, because they're so selfish. Be a good ancestor. Even that quote comes from the black community, because we talk about being a good ancestor. They've used our quote and applied it to themselves. And then she says, as I approach my 50s, I find myself thinking more about the mark I'm leaving on the world. One of my core values now is to be a good ancestor. That was legit taken by a black woman's quote, the good ancestor. Okay, so they do watch us. So they've taken that. To leave this remarkable biosphere we call home in a good condition as I can, within the time that remains, identifying this valued contribution to my career chain a few years ago and becoming a trustee at CAT, it has influenced how I spend my money and significantly increased how much I give away compared to how much I spend on myself. For me, the urgency of so many of the issues facing our world today encourages me to give as much as I can, as soon as I can. As a trustee, I'm keenly aware of how difficult it can be for charities to deal with the uncertainty of the future income when so many of us are feeling the effects of ongoing cost of living crisis. Donations has dropped in the sector. Personally, I know I need to make sure I can look after myself through the uncertainties of older age. This means I'm likely to approach the end of my life with at least some money and property still in my possession. What then? Leaving a gift in my will is one important next step I'm considering. I believe legacy giving is the best way for me to give back, while ensuring I and my loved ones have enough to live life well. Typical white people. They not only think about themselves, but they think about their children and their grandchildren. Meanwhile, black people are suffering on this planet, surviving day by day. They don't have time to be thinking about their grandchildren, because they're literally on survival mode. So they call it sustainability. Really, it's just trying to secure, like, that's how much control they have. So basically, she's trying to take, like, people's inheritance as for her charity. A legacy gift of as little as 1% of your estate can help the team to plan with long view into the years and decades ahead, considering how CAT can best contribute to the essential transition of zero carbon future. So now they're promising to save the earth and also getting money for it. So that's what CAT is. Right. So, Center for Alternative Technology. So this is the main climate change, and you can get, like, you can learn new skills, how to create a zero carbon world. So these are academic courses. Interesting. Really interesting. So yeah, this is, guys, I'm not joking. CAT. adulting with a cold is difficult. It is so difficult. I'm glad I went to it. It was a very, very good workshop. Now I'm able to understand like graphs and things like that, and how they measure the carbon footprint, stuff like that, protecting the environment, recycling. It's all very much important, we're teaching it in school. It's really important. And yeah, I just wanted to let you know, because as usual, I was the only black girl there. I was the only black girl. I made a couple of really important points, how black women in corporate world have to have weaves. That's not good for the environment. They need to bring the Crown Act here in the UK. They need to bring the Afro Hair Act, because black women are being forced to wear their hair in unsustainable, toxic, polluting, expensive wigs just to fit in. And at the same time, they're damaging the environment. And we had some really interesting discussions about fast fashion, how banks are not lending to these fast fashion companies, they're denying them, which is great. About time. I mentioned how they are targeting black influencers by giving them free clothes so that other people can buy it. It's a big problem. It's a big problem. Yeah, no, it is definitely a topic we need to discuss. And so I'm happy I went, despite me being ill. And towards the end of the workshop, like the talk, my sleep started coming. I started dozing off, like, because the place was cozy, and I was just watching it. Like, that's the thing with this kind of cold, it makes you feel sleepy. I'm just gonna go and get some tissue for my nose. So, wow. But we gotta be consistent. We got to be consistent. Okay. So I'm gonna go get the book that I got from the talk. I think it's really interesting. My God. Oh my God. That's a nasty cold. Now I'm having my tea. But a business sustainability workshop. Very, very interesting. So the concept of sustainability, it covers a whole range of DEI, environment, biodiversity. I like it. Carbon footprint, measuring and communicating progress. Are you helping the community? I had no idea, but it covers a whole range. So businesses must show whether they are sustainable. And it's going to be legislation soon. Cybersecurity, all those things are added, like, to show their sustainability. And they mentioned the carbon footprint. Carbon footprint is basically that, burning fossil fuels, heating up the earth. And then we see the end results, forest fires, because it's too damn hot. So businesses are legally required to create carbon reduction plans, report emissions as part of the country's goal to reach net zero by 2050. And then, you need to provide these little graphs. Guys, we only have one planet. You can't just you need to care about the environment. We live in it. We live in Mother Earth. And I want to see more black people, more people of color talking about this very important subject. We can't be the only ones on this planet. Your horse hair, your synthetic hair, your lashes, it's not good for the environment. Fast fashion is not good for the environment. Hand-me-downs, guys. We need to start recycling, wearing second-hand clothes like our thrifty parents used to do to us, our boomer parents. Give us cousin Gertrude's jumper, auntie blah blah blah's pajama. Like, there's nothing wrong with hand-me-downs, but for some reason, the black community, millennials, have been traumatized by hand-me-downs. Like, they don't even want to give hand-me-downs to their own kids. You know, people are coming out with YouTube saying, "No, I'm traumatized. I used to wear my brother's clothes. Oh, I had a rubbish childhood. I'm going to cut my dad off. I'm going to cut my mom off." Like, no. You know, your parents were sustainable, the original OG sustainable. We had to use recycled plastic instead of buying new containers. You know, like, no. African parents were smart for doing that. You know, now it's all in fashion. Listen, Africans have always been sustainable. It's them copying us. Do you know what I mean? It's them destroying the earth. And they've been calling Africans primitive for caring about Mother Earth. And now they're trying to get credit for being saviors of the planet. See? It's always another get-rich scheme. Using the planet to control us. Okay? But we've been doing this as guardians of the planet for thousands of years. And we know what they're like. So I don't understand why we're being led by these companies that don't care about our well-being, because the clothes they sell are chemicals, crap. Just consume, following trends. You know, just stop. Like, make your own, grow your own food. You know, make your own clothes. Stop looking down on homegrown African products. Stop always, you know, looking down on African, made in Africa products when, you know, and lifting up foreign stuff, like the low self-esteem in our community. There's so much work that needs to be done when it comes to sustainability. So much. Driving around cars to prove you're not poor. Ferrying your kids around to show how rich you are. You have a car. Wow, you made it. Wow. Because we grew up in poverty and they want to show that everyone they made it, so they have a car. Why can't you walk? Why can't your kids walk to school? Damn it. Why can't they walk? Your kids are fat. They're not streetwise. They're just big babies being ferried around. Why can't they take transport like other kids? Oh no, those are the poor kids. They wouldn't dare do that. You know, always keeping up appearances. You know. We're in the midst of a sustainable earth shattering climate change times. There's so much pollution. It's always our people that are like suffering from pollution, but it's our people driving everywhere. Like, there's black guys that just refuse to walk because it's seen as not successful. And there's so many YouTube channels. You should only be using your car on the weekends. Why are you using it during the week? Like, walk, get on the bus, save your petrol, care about the planet. It's not about looking. Yes, we're poor. Out of all the communities, we are at the bottom. So collectively, we are poor. You may not be individually poor, but collectively, we are. We don't have much influence. You know, they're starting a whole movement without black people. Okay, they're starting a whole. Do you see any black person in any of these? None. It's all whitewashed sustainability. Oh, imprint. It's all white. Carbon emission. Okay, where does that leave us? I believe we've been deliberately left out of the conversation because we're just a consuming society, making these people rich. But yet they want to make them guilty conscious, feel good about themselves by saying that they're doing something good for the community, for the environment. Okay? Look, you know, we're just a cash cow. You know, that's all we are, a cash cow. Tell me, why is Boohoo targeting black people? You're so dumb. Why is Temu? Why is Boohoo? Why is the other, what's the other one? These trashy fast fashion nonsense crap constantly targeting us, like JD Sports, all these trashy clothes that you guys have to have the latest clothes of. Just drop the clothes. Like, the more working class and black people refuse to wear these designer clothes, I think it's game over for these. We need to reject these labels. We need to be rejecting them, okay? Because they are atrocious, okay? They don't have any respect for black people, third world people. They don't provide any health and safety for their workers in Bangladesh. They break all the rules, and they don't have any respect for the African continent because they're throwing their old used clothes in Africa. The toxic clothes, they're dashing it in the seas of West Africa, just leaving it on the beach because they don't care about black people. They don't care about the environment. As long as it's out of sight and out of mind, that's all they care about. And they're showing you who they are. They're showing you who they are. And you're not part of it. You're not part of the conversation on purpose, mate. You're not part of the conversation on purpose. This is environmental racism. Environmental racism. Okay? You have black people at the bottom working for these companies, creating massive profit. You're slaves. And then on the other hand, they're talking about sustainability. Yeah? Saving the planet, la 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 la. Helping communities. Providing DEA. Like, when these companies have no plan to provide equal wages, okay, they go around it. They go around the statute. Yeah, where is our demand for equal pay, race disparity pay? We need those figures published. We need it. We need to make it statute, law, and we need to fine these companies. Fine them. Like, 100% fine them and give it back to these communities that we're trying to help, because they're traumatizing our communities because of their selfish greed. Yeah. Anyway, just wanted to do a video on that.